In this episode, there's a cadet working in an inventory room on a starbase when there's a yellow alert and a console explodes behind her. Apparently, the starbase is under attack and a prisoner is brought in handcuffs and a weird hood over his head. The officers bringing him in explain that there's damage on Deck 4, so they can't get to the brig, so they have to leave him in this supply closet with a cadet. Right off the bat, something seems a little fishy with this. The officers explain that the guy was captured for mutiny and they have that thing in his head to hide the fact that the mutineer is Captain Pike, which they reveal when they take his mask off. They ask her if she can be trusted with this intelligence after they already reveal it, which seems a bit irresponsible. You'd think they'd want to know whether she could be trusted with secret information before they reveal it. She doesn't answer, but they throw a phaser at her and ask again. She says she can handle it and they leave the room. Pike explains that he was arrested for mutiny because he wanted to rescue a ship that was being attacked by the Tholians. He was ordered not to because the admirals didn't want the Tholians to get the Enterprise, and Pike tried to rescue them anyway. The Tholians were first seen in the episode The Tholian Web, when they threatened the Enterprise because the Enterprise entered Tholian space and the Tholians are very territorial. The cadet's husband is on board the ship that was attacked, and Pike tries to convince her to let him go so he can go rescue them. Now the Tholians are attacking the starbase. The cadet also explains that she wanted to work in engineering, but she was rejected for that job and ended up in this starbase supply closet. Pike quizzes her on regulations, and she demonstrates that she knows them inside and out, and is willing to risk her husband to follow them. So then Pike reveals that the whole thing is just a training simulation. Given that consoles were exploding all over the place, it's an impressively dangerous and destructive simulation, but I guess the Kobayashi Maru was as well. I presume that the title of this episode, Ask Not, is a reference to the John F. Kennedy quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Since what was asked of this cadet is that she keep Pike in custody, even though doing so could mean that her husband gets killed, it seems like Starfleet is testing her willingness to sacrifice her personal interests to the interests of the Federation. Anyway, her husband, rather than being attacked by the Tholians, is being brought to the starbase to be reunited with her. Since she has passed the simulation test, she and Pike beam over to the Enterprise and she is taken to engineering. Engineering looks a lot more impressive than it did in the original series. I of course didn't expect it to look exactly like it did in the 60s, but I was hoping it would bear some resemblance to it. And this engineering deck looks nothing like any engineering deck I've ever seen before.